Hello and everyone. First of all, this is my first video in which I'll be talking. I'm Italian and I'm sorry if my English won't be perfect. I hope you can deal with it. This is a response, say it's dedicated to Iraq veteran, which is one of the people I usually follow the most on YouTube. I'd say I'll go out and say he's one of the most knowledgeable people speaking about guns and firearms in general on YouTube. I wanted to respond to one of his latest video about 22s and how much 22s can be fun and everybody should have one. Yes. Basically 22 and 22 rimfire rifles are probably the most common rifles firearms in the world. One everywhere, whenever it's restricted or it's free or there is a second amendment or there is not. Basically even in England, say in England there's probably the most strictest laws aside from Japan about firearms, and they are having a blast with 22s. Now, Iraq veteran was speaking about the Marlin in particular, and I wanted to show mine as a response, which is not an American one. Of course I'm Italian, I'm European, but that's not entirely the reason for which I bought this, which is a CZ. CZ 522. This is a particular version. This is the, I don't know how to call it in the United States. This is the Hunter's version. It is mostly a European style rifle with a European style buttstock and foreign. You'll see, it's beautiful. This one in particular is my pride and joy. Has been my first firearm, and it has been really the start. I have been starting back with firearms at age 40. You understand it will take a little bit to handle it. I went on and bought an M1 Garand. I have several shotguns at home, but this was the first I decided to start with. Now, what about the Marlin or this one? Well, it's basically about looks, because you know they're both excellent firearms. This one in particular is not, say, a target firearm. The Marlin probably can do both. This one has been built as a variant of the 452 series, as a hunter version, similar to the classic European guns you see out in the Alps, very German-like, very Mittel European-like, that although the mechanics are shared with all of the 452 variants. This is a very European-like, very Mauser-like rear sight, and a classic looking barrel. I mean, it's not a heavy barrel, it's not target barrel. It's a midway between lightness for hunting or heaviness for prolonged use. Yeah, this one is plastic, it is, and these are the only features that CZ only allowed when it comes to dealing with modern manufacturing, because it is classic looking, but of course it is built now. As most things, they had to cut some corners. Now, the quality is the same as probably 50 or 60 years ago, but they had to cut on something. So you will find that the magazine here is plastic, is a nice made plastic indeed. It's rugged, it's not heavy, but yet it's quite sturdy, let's say. Historically, I'm not good at cameras, the trigger guard has always been stamped metal. You know, yeah, it looks like a Mauser K98. That's not really the reason. It's most to keep their price down. Anyway, there's nothing to say bad about it. As voice, it's a trigger guard. As long as you just don't trash it in the ground, it will keep its shape, and I say it's nice. And another feature that you don't see, but is inside the rifle, the magazine, port, the magazine well actually is plastic. I mean, if you take down the action from the stock, you will see there is the guide for the magazine, which is not a part of the receiver itself, but it's made of plastic and is bolted right in. Now the gun is safety checked, because I always store them in a gun safe, and I know I make it as a priority never have a loaded firearm inside my gun case. But I do one thing, mainly with the 22. Probably it's not necessary, but there is a rule which has been around forever. Never dry fire a 22. Never dry fire a rimfire rifle or pistol, for that matter. That's why I always keep a spent case in there. It's just a spent case, which is safe to drop the hammer on, so you can store it with the spring with no weight on it, and you risk not damage to the rifle. Now,